breeze blowing, storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the baseline is about to begin. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend, Mike, he's your man. And he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here at Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation Pride.
All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Loving the tunes, huh? That's a good tune. That was one of my original first Andy Simmons songs that he did for us. It was the one that started it all. Now we have about 10 of them. 10 songs. So, hey, what's up? All right. So let's say hello. You are watching the Daily Brew here. What's up, everybody? Good morning from Oldsmar, Florida. This is Louie. Louie's a little emotional today because the bus is in here and Julie's out front with Sarah, and he's kind of really acting weird today, so he needs a little love. It would help if I put the camera on. Try that again. This is Louie, emotional Louie today. He needs a little love. So everybody give Louie a little love. He's not feeling very strong today. He was whimpering a lot today because Sarah's out front, and if any of you all have been around Frenchies, they make this awful sounding cry, like he knows I'm talking about him. All right, so good morning. This is the Daily Brew here, brought to you by Mike here, Mike's Weather Page. We got Shelly helping out on the administrative side, so say hello to Shelly. We keep out politics and drama and try to keep the chat friendly. Most people just listen, but we do have our chapters. So good morning. What's up, Amy? Yeah, he is a poor guy. Now he knows I'm talking about him because he's pouting. It's hump day. Morning, Matt from the Bahamas. What's up, Cassandra? Yeah, he looks like it. Hump Day Wednesday. He's everybody's talking about you. So we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and TikTok. So we're going to talk about the tropics are kind of waking up. So we do have a lot to talk about. So I'm not going to do too much before we get right into it. We have several things down the road that we're watching that could be interesting starting next week. Everybody online is talking about the tropics, and things sometimes switch quick. And it appears that we are going to see things switch quick with some things to watch as we near the end of August and enter September. So we had a good Taco Tuesday. Shared a picture last night. Matt says, "Bring on the tropics." Jennifer, what's up? Missing his girl. He was. Ola from Orlando. Karen from Crystal River. Good morning from Houston. Disaster Rescue Response. Rachel from South Texas. A lot of Texas. Got some folks from Virginia. What's going on? Port St. Joe. I love your little town. That's right, Sean. Huge thanks to ABC and Furman. Can't forget that. Destin, yeah, well, if you're going to Destin, you got to start watching. Time to break out the crayons, Katie Gregory says. Melbourne D, what's up? Justin from Maine. You get a little nor'easter up there. What's it like, Justine? Is it windy? I bet you it is. That little nor'easter making some headlines yesterday. Emily from Daytona Beach. Jessica from Mobile, Alabama. Brandy from Lake City. Deanna from DeBerry. Joey from Port Arthur. I know where that's at. Drove through it before. Michael from Destin. Stuart. Paul. Matthew from Somerville. Space Coast. Laura Biggers from Jeff from Naples. All right, man. We got YouTube rocking. We got Mr. Ferguson. Don. What's up, Mary? Brian Elliott. James Gibson. We got a lot of folks watching. It's awesome. Kissimmee. Beautiful city. We play softball there a lot. My grandma lived in Kissimmee, outside of Orlando, home of Walt Disney World. And everybody loves Disney World. All right, cool beans. All right, let's talk tropics. I'm ready to rock and roll. Are you going to be okay by yourself? Are you going to be okay? Can I put you down? If he starts crying, I might just lose it. No crying. All right, as we mentioned, ABC Fine Wine Spirits, great supporter of us, sponsoring our Daily Brew now 4 years in a row, and great company here in Florida. So thank them a bunch. We got big Daytona weekend coming up next weekend, the Daytona race, the 400, the Coke Zero 400 weekend. So they have a couple stores over in the Daytona area. Make sure you hit them up. Tell them you're big fans of our page, and all around great company, great employees. We love them to death. Getting ready for Daytona. And I did mention camping yesterday, like a Yahoo. And we do have some things to possibly watch in the Gulf next week, believe it or not. So this is what's live. This is what's current. Remember, everything that I say, I'm not a official, whatever that means, not a meteorologist by trade. So always get your information from National Weather Service and National Hurricane Center. This is official, though. This is your 5-day. So what we're watching in the short term is this little tropical wave here by Central America, and it's expected to get in the Bay of Campeche in the Gulf of Mexico Friday, Saturday, this week. So it's coming quick. It's a fast mover. And that's the only thing cooking right now officially. It's at 20% right now. So we're going to dig into that real quick, go into that one and talk about that. Let's show you a few things I posted here earlier just to kind of give everybody what I've been doing all morning. Here is the satellite imagery of that spot. This is a big ball of convection. Doesn't have any lower level spin. It does have mid-level spin, but the general low is a little bit more over land here to the southwest of it, but it's going to have to go through the Yucatan before it does anything. But it does have a lot of water. I posted this earlier today too. These are your precipitable water maps. This is looking into this weekend, showing you the heart of whatever this thing becomes. Not a lot of model support for organization. That's good news right now. There's not really a lot of support. I haven't really seen very many models showing much intensification. But as far as rain placement, reds are your moisture in the air, which usually means rain. Purple's really wet. But you can see this is all Saturday morning. The Euro, the heart of it's just below the Mexico-Texas line. GFS is a little more to the north. CMC is right at the Mexico-Texas line. So it's pretty good idea here that the weekend, this is the weekend, we're going to see this tropical low moving up northwest, and then possibly bringing rains all the way to Louisiana. Chances are at 20% right now. They're not seeing a lot of model support yet, but it is going to be in the Bay of Campeche tomorrow, Friday, and then we'll see what it does. So you always got to watch these things in the Bay, but like I said, not seeing a lot of model support yet. Okay. So that's what's official right now. That's the near term. Not seeing a lot of signs that this thing could really become anything too big as of now. But always watch systems in the Gulf this time of year. Always. The big picture, I found this map. I figured I'd start doing something like this. This is kind of the synopsis of what's going on. So we do have a couple things. So we got our nor'easter. Currently bringing some action to the northeast. That's why they call it a nor'easter. Nor'easter is just a northeast low. Nothing tropical, but it is bringing rains, Jersey north, which they really need it. There's a big drought up there. Got some coastal winds, kind of neat to look at. The other thing that I just shared, I'm going to have to show you here in a little bit, is old Invest 98. My goodness, this thing has got amazing structure over mountains of Mexico. I'm going to show that here in a second. Tropically speaking, though, here's the wave that we're watching that's going to make its way into the bay this weekend. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on this. The other things to watch are this. All right, this wave way out here is showing this. All right, so we got to make it a little smaller. Why is that little guy doing that? Come on, get out right there. Come on. That little sucker. All right, this guy right here. So let's point it. This right here is trying to work, but it's not. So let's close it and bring it back. Well, whatever. Doesn't like me very much today. There's the Earth, by the way. This is not a good map. That's probably why I've never used it before. Let's try one more time. All right. So this wave right here is exiting Africa. This is the one I've been talking a lot about. It's looking pretty juicy right now. It's got a lot of moisture to it. It's going to end up being somewhere here, middle of next week. Okay, so that's kind of out there. We're watching it middle of next week, somewhere in the middle Atlantic. When it is here, there's going to be another wave exiting off of Africa. So we're going to have two waves middle of next week to be watching. The new thing that has popped up that's got me really curious. We talked about this middle Atlantic low pressure system that still showing up on models, mid-level low. The GFS is starting to show the end of the following weekend, which is technically the 28th, a week from Sunday. You've probably seen it. The last three runs of the GFS has shown a system in the Gulf. What's got my attention is the CMC now is showing the same general low, and we're starting to see some ensemble support in addition to whatever's here and here the following weekend, a week from next. So could be three things possibly about like that would be around the 28th, 29th. That's really stretching it, but there is a little bit of Gulf support that is worth mentioning toward the end of the month. Now, the reason this is interesting is because the end of the month, we're starting to get the MJO cycle here is starting to show a favorable phase here, entering the end of the month into the month of September. And let me show you that real quick. So that, it's kind of all coming together to where we could see an active end of August into September. Now, this is your MJO phase. Green means enhanced, and it is working its way towards the Atlantic towards the end of August right here. This is end of August. Green is enhanced, and this sucker goes all the way to September 25th. So we could see a favorable MJO all the way through the month of September. Not hyping anything, just one of the things that the tropics need for development. So let's look at all the models. Take a look at what's going on. So like I said, immediate interest is the Gulf this week, Friday, Saturday. Everything else is speculative down the road. But if we're looking at our Africa map currently, this is the first wave that's plopped out onto the Atlantic here. This is live, and we'll be keeping an eye on this one. So, all right, so let's go to the maps here. Let's look at tropical tidbits and go from there. All right, so let me see what's going on. Let's drink a little coffee before we get going in it. I love Margaritaville. Tiki bars. I go to the Margaritaville and Gatlinburg to chase snow every year. I'm like the only snow chaser, I think, on the planet. One of the few. I love it. I bumped into Jim Cantori. By the way, before I forget, let me show you one thing. I retweeted it. Let me see here. Tweets and replies, likes. Here we go. This was shared from Jim Cantori this morning. This is put out by the Weather Channel, I believe. Talking about active seasons after September 1st. This is the amount of named systems past September 1st, which is not even, this is August 17th, past September 1st. And look at this stat. They had 11 named storms after September 1st, 2021, 18, 8, 2000, 98, 95. You can read it. 12 systems. 17 systems were named after September 1st in 2020. 17 names after September 1st. And 2005 had 18 systems after September 1st. So this is when things really get cranking in the tropics. So I know that little lull is weird and everybody's thinking the season's over, but it only takes one. And the environment's definitely looking like it is going to be supportive of something. So, all right, so we're going to look at all the models. GFS is the first one. We're on TikTok. Hey, Melissa. Paula Thompson's on cup number 2. I have my Red Bull ready to rock and roll. I'm going to start every show now with coffee and end it with Red Bull. And I mentioned camping Daytona, and lo and behold, now we have a potential golf system maybe to talk about for next week. Nobody else is talking about it yet. I'm a little worried. I don't want to bring up too much. But it's there, so that's what we do. That's what we talk about it. That's what we talk about it. All right, so GFS. Now, GFS has been terrible this year. But it's still supposed to be one of the best. So we'll start out with GFS. All right, so here's what we got. So we're going to look at 3 areas. We're going to look at here, right? We're going to look at here, we're going to look at here, and then we're going to look at here. There's 4 things we're going to be looking at. So GFS, TroPicalTidbits.com. All right, so through the weekend, not showing any development in the Bay or the Gulf of Mexico. Good news, right? Could be rain, but not showing. This is all the way through Sunday. All right. Bam. All right. So let's go middle next week. Middle next week, there's that first wave. Now, we've been talking about this wave forever. Middle of next week, it looks like our wave coming off Africa could be doing something in the middle of Atlantic next week. Looking very possible. There's been more models on it than off of it. Now, middle of next week, low pressure here. Now, I don't know if it's a wave or what, but the GFS has been picking up on it and pulling it up towards the Gulf. Now, remember a little drawing I showed the end of next weekend, the 28th, Sunday the 28th. 3 areas to be watching. This is the Atlantic wave now. This is the new wave, and then this is the We'll just call that This has been popping up. The only reason I'm mentioning it, a couple reasons. All right, so the only reason I brought it up is the last 3 runs, it's been showing it popping up. So I give the GFS a little bit of discussion because the last 3 runs, it's been pretty consistent, showing basically 3 areas. 1, 2, 3. And that's kind of what we're watching. This is towards next week. So bottom line, Daytona could be off for me if we have anything developing in the Gulf. Now, I'm going to go to the GFS ensemble since we're talking about the Gulf. The GFS isn't really showing the Gulf, but it is showing it on their ensemble list. So this is really the only reason I want to bring it up. Now, again, this is the tropical depression possibly going into Mexico, possibly Texas. Not showing up in the tropical storm graphics, so mainly just a low pressure area. But now we get into Friday, the following week, we're starting to see the same general thinking of a possibility. This is Sunday next week, a week from next, 28th. So you can see why now my curiosity's pegged because of that. Now, these are ensemble blends. It's not like a lot of support, but it's enough that the GF is seeing the same thing. Now, when you go to the Precipitate water map on these models, you'll see exactly the same thing. This is moisture. So even the Euro going into next week, this is a week from Friday, the 26th, you can see a big blob of moisture here working its way into the Gulf area. So that wave is kind of starting to show up. This is the main run. This isn't even an ensemble run. But you can see the 26 moisture pulling up on the latest GFS or the Euro. And it's kind of done that the last couple runs. And of course, looking at the GFS, you can really see that moisture come up because it's predicting a little more organized system. This is moisture. But the thing that I'm mentioning is Friday, the Euro's showing the moisture plume. Now, let's go back to the Canadian model, and we'll zoom in on it because the Canadian's showing almost the same moisture surge the end of next week into the Gulf. All right, so the Canadian model, looking at short term, today's the 17th, not much development, little bit of 1009 millibar. Kind of keeps it towards the Texas-Mexico line as a weak system. So that, not a lot of support or anything too developed yet in the Gulf next couple days, but enough that we could see some rain and some storms. Looking at middle next week, not really showing the first wave. It's showing the second wave. This is the second wave. Not showing anything here, but it is showing this one. And focus right here. This is that same moisture towards the end of the next week where the GFS is showing. Now you're starting to see the Canadian starting to show the moisture. So it's enough to just bring attention to it. Nothing to worry about yet. But it is enough that, starting to see some possibility of rotation Wednesday, 24th, pulling up here to the 27th. So enough to just say, hey, there could be a little something happening here the following week. So there's our vorticity over the weekend here showing going into Mexico. So there's going to be low pressure signature. Sometimes the curvature of the BOC, it's a phenomenon where these systems actually, because of the rotation in the land and the interaction with land, sometimes these little systems can spin up quicker in the bay. It's been known to happen a lot. So that's why I keep saying, we're going to have a Friday, Saturday window this week coming up to watch the bay here and see if anything can pop. And then the following week here, you can see really nothing. So, all right. So enough about that. But yeah, Jessica. Yeah, well, it's three consistent runs on the GFS and a little bit of moisture showing on the CMC, and it's ensemble support on the Euro. So now let's look back here towards the Middle Atlantic. So another cool feature on Tropical Tidbits is the Ensemble Maps, and you can see this. What's interesting with the GFS Ensemble Maps is that it's really picking up our wave here. This is our Middle Atlantic wave. This is now Saturday the 27th. So this is the 27th. So a couple things. When you have an operational run showing a really big storm, but very little ensemble support, that's where you just kind of note it, but you don't really believe it yet. So I just, I felt like we need to talk about it because it's kind of hinting a little bit the Gulf later next weekend, but still not a lot of support yet to really go to Vegas and to go all in. But what's interesting is this ensemble map on the GFS is showing quite a few of the this is our middle Atlantic wave for next week, continues on, and it's still showing development past that. So again, this is the middle Atlantic wave that we keep talking about right here. Middle week, next week. This is our Africa wave that we have now. And you can just kind of follow along. You'll start to see these ensembles stick together and possibly. So the big question. All right. Big question you always get. Timing. All right. Timing. If our Atlantic wave that we're watching now, this is the one we're watching now. If this makes it across the Atlantic, it would be holy cow. Like 10 days from now, it would be here, the 28th Sunday, nearing the Bahamas. So that people like to know timing. That's a what if, scenario. If that wave, the Euro's not hardly even showing it right now, but it's worth noting that if that wave makes it across, it would be Daytona weekend because I mentioned camping. But again, it's really important to note here because I'm seeing the GFS shared a lot. That's why I wanted to talk about it. But the GFS has hardly no ensembles for the upper Gulf, even though the main operational run is showing it. So it's very, very low confidence right now. Middle Gulf next week, but this is more interesting to me. There's a lot of ensemble support, and that's not even the second one. The second one actually looks more impressive than the first one. Let's take a look at this one. So let's go in the future here and look at the second wave coming off of Africa, which is following this one. This one is even more impressive looking at the latest icon. This is your vorticity maps. So it doesn't really do much with the first wave. This is this is middle next week. The icon isn't really showing much. In the time frame here, this is the middle of next week. So not really showing much here. But focus on that right there. So the icon really showing some spin on our next wave coming off of Africa. That's the second wave. Sometimes the second one is the sneaky one. We're all focused on the first one, and then the one that comes in behind it might be the... So anyway, this is next Wednesday. There's that second wave. And again, I posted that today. This is what I posted earlier. This is kind of showing middle of next week. I like to do things in time stamps. People know middle of next week, possible wave. There's our next one. Possible wave with ensembles, our next one. And then here's that icon I just showed, wave number 2. This is Wednesday, 8/24. All right, so let's see what else we can talk about. Let's go to the Euro now and take a look at the Euro map, and we'll see what we got. So let me slow down a little bit. What's up, George Ostrom the Fourth? Cheers, man. Yep. So good question, Steve in Texas. Stronger goes north. Usually, the stronger the system, they're more influenced by upper level winds and upper level high pressure systems. Usually, and they have a Coriolis effect. I butchered that name. Coriolis effect. It's a natural poleward motion north and then back east again. So stronger systems tend to follow upper level steering currents more and natural pull to the north. Weaker systems trek along the lower level winds and keep on heading west. So what's up, Sean from Massachusetts? Bill from Destin. Destin had all the news yesterday with that. Some are saying it was a tornado, so it's very confusing, that water spout, because it was over water. But the structure of the storm was definitely tornadic, and some are calling it a tornado over water, which it technically was a tornado as far as the structure. It was very intense winds associated with it on vorticity maps. But yeah, Destin had the Hoey what effect. That's it, Diana. Ryan, the dust is slowly slowing down. What's up, Stephanie Stokes? I'm a rookie. It's all my fault because we're going camping next week. Well, not camping. We're going to the Rays. All right, so here's the Euro. We looked at the GFS. Here's the Euro. We're going to see that, a little bit of development chances here in the Bay over the weekend. This is 6Z. We got to go to 00Z. So there's a little bubble, So, there is a chance that we could see a little something here in the Gulf. But it's going to be limited, I believe, to the Texas-Mexico line. Now, that would bring rain to the north. But that's about it. So let's go back to the tropics. So we're looking down the road, and we're going to look at middle next week. So the other thing that's interesting, let me show you this too. So let's stop here next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So here is that middle low that I talked a lot about. Let's talk about that in a second. So here's middle week next week. So middle week next week, the Euro doesn't do much at all with our first wave, but it is doing a lot with our second wave. So the Euro's kind of slacked off a little bit on our first wave, but it's enough that it's still there, especially on ensembles. And remember, it really doesn't matter what happens here. The fact is we have a little seed, and once it gets into this area, storms can rapidly intensify quick. So it's not so important to notice strength out here in the Atlantic early going. It's just the fact that you're looking at the seeds as they trek across, and then you see what they can do once they enter the Caribbean and Western Atlantic. But as far as that goes, so there's a Euro, and the Euro again not really showing anything in the Gulf when the Euro or the GFS is, but it is showing middle Atlantic low from that second wave. So still support of that. Here's that middle Atlantic low. I've been talking about a lot of these little daily brews now. So we have a middle atmospheric low pressure system that's going to be moving across the Atlantic, and these are tricky because sometimes they can reach down to the surface. This is Sunday this week coming up. So there's our middle Atlantic. The little blue spot is a low pressure system that has been showing up coming across the Atlantic. What's interesting about this little guy is that high pressure will likely build in behind it. This is Sunday, which means our African wave here would have more of a chance to trek west because high is going to build in behind this middle Atlantic low. But sometimes these little middle Atlantic lows can do something. And what's interesting about that middle Atlantic low is it's definitely showing up on the Canadian. This is Canadian Monday, and it's showing up on the GFS here on Monday. So still a big question mark in my mind is, end of this weekend, first part of next week, middle atmospheric low pressure system sometimes can reach the surface, and this could definitely be a player if something were to brew in the Gulf middle of next week as this moisture ends up coming. So still, like I said, that's just something to curiously watch. You're going to start hearing people talk about mid-Atlantic low pressure system, and that's the one that's coming across this weekend. It'll be nearing the Caribbean this weekend. Not really sure what to make of that, except it could have some moisture attached to it. Yeah, you can see it right here. This little bubble right here is a middle atmospheric low, and you can just kind of see it there. So keep an eye on it. But all right, so here's a good image. Even though the operational run didn't show much organization with next week, this is middle of next week. This is next Tuesday, Wednesday. There's our wave. So 1, 2. This is the one we're watching now, Africa wave. And this is the one coming next. So even though it's not showing organization, the wave is still going to be out there. Here's that middle Atlantic low. This is Tuesday. Be a complex weather setup but this is definitely going to be a player in something. And this is Tuesday. Anyway, the land cane. We should show that. This is the most wildest thing you'll ever see in the world right now. Let me show you. Let's bring up the old radar scope over here and make sure it looks good. Look at that. This is live. This is unbelievable. That's south of El Paso right now. It's got incredible vorticity right now. Incredible. Unbelievable. There's mountains out there. It's in the middle of Mexico. And it's got more spinach. I mean, this is Invest 98. This is what came through Texas. Unbelievable. It's even got a little eye. It's 100% got a little eye. So I don't know what's going on. This is unheard of. Look, I mean, look at this. I mean, look at this. This came all the way through the Gulf, and it's still spinning. Almost to Arizona. Arizona, you're fixing to get a land cane. Never seen nothing like it. Colin technically was over land a lot. I just wonder if they'll reanalyze this postseason and think and realize that maybe it was more than they thought, tropically once it crossed into land. But anyway, that's what's happening. Unbelievable, right? Oh, man. Brandon, exactly. If it had time over land, I mean, come on. I don't know. I mean, you can analyze it. I mean, I don't know what to make of it. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I mean, it's definitely got spin somewhere. Where's the map? Where's Texas at? There. It's not even showing up there. It's not. I don't think the satellite works there because of all the mountains. Somewhere here at 500. I mean, it's well, it's kind of right there, but I don't know. I mean, hey, you got to watch things in real time, and that is definitely happening currently. And it's coming out of the El Paso radar. So I don't even think we have good radar technically to even get better structure of it. Wild, huh? Here's the maps for today, by the way. Let's just leave this up. We have a frontal line, tricky little frontal line, believe it or not. Second cold front of the year, touching Florida-Georgia line. Tropics waking up. That's your Wi-Fi name, Rhonda May. That's cool. Jessica Ramey, good morning. Mary Hernandez, good morning. I'm just checking out some haze I've missed out on. So, anyway, hey, somebody in Maine. Let's talk about that nor'easter. Yeah, I showed that nor'easter. What are the water temps? Holy moly, the water temps are hot. Mary, yeah, we'll have new names for land canes. I kept joking on Twitter. I put Colin 2.0. Now I'm thinking I was right. Colin 2.0. But anyway, this is storms today. This is an old frontal line, so we're going to have increased storm threats throughout the day, all the way from Texas to the Florida, almost middle Florida. Then tomorrow we got kind of more of the same. Look at that. Here's tomorrow. Frontal line stalled out across the south. So storms are definitely possible today, tomorrow, overnight. Showed yesterday the overnight. Let's take a look at the HRR because we look like we could have had some storms tonight to watch out for across the south. Let's take a look at that real quick so I don't forget. Because we do have this frontal line that's kind of interesting. Let's see. Maybe not overnight anymore. Maybe we could. So this is just all the radar through today and tomorrow. and that's what you got. Look at this. I mean, it's just a frontal line bringing in some rain. So that is later tonight. This is tonight. This is midnight. So yeah, we can see some storms overnight crossing down into Florida. And then we got more energy early morning into Thursday here. So there's another line Thursday morning tomorrow. And more storms. Look at that. Getting a little heavy tomorrow afternoon. Texas across the upper Gulf. That's tomorrow. So that's a couple, just an old frontal boundary. You could see that on the surface charts. Real quick, I always like to look at the surface charts. Kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. This is your 3-day surface chart. This goes through Friday morning. But you can just see that front just lingers. Lingering frontal line. Lingering frontal line. So, rainbows with the American Red Cross. That's pretty cool. Had the Red Cross come to my house one time. Do a tropical update. What's up, Chris? Good morning. Jessica, I don't know if the weather's aggressive. That's just, I don't know. It's tricky. It pops. It's just, things happen quick. This is your weather the next 3 days. Let's see what else. So so we have a new one of these today. They dropped our middle Atlantic wave for this week. I was surprised. But now they're showing next week's second wave. So we got 2 waves in the Atlantic to watch next week. They're not really showing the first one, but they are showing the second one. But I still think we got a wave to watch. Some of the ensembles are still showing plenty of support on that first wave. So this basically, let's stop it. I mean, it's it's not all the members, but this would be the 26 right here. Important to show you this one too. This is the following Friday. So let's kind of go to Saturday. So here's the European ensembles for the following Saturday. And what you see here is this. You see a couple little ensembles here. That is the GFS. This is the Euro now sniffing maybe. Very few. This is wave number 1 that's in the coming off Africa now. And then the second wave arguably is going to be about right here. This is the 27th. So that's the time frame of the 3 things to possibly watch. I like it. I'll leave it right there. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you, Danielle, for the stars. Thank you, Bob. NASCAR Dale, what are you talking about? What wind speeds there, buddy? St. Johns County, newbies. Where's that at? Al, I believe it's mainly comes down to the rains just start to increase across Africa. The tropical waves start, you start getting more summertime waves and rain, and it moistens up the atmosphere. I mean, basically, it's not always dust. It's dry air, too. It's a combination of dust and dry air. This is a great map. This is a combination of dusty, dry air. This has everything on it. So we still have some plumes out there. It's not totally gone yet. This is current. So I think a big reason that our wave now is not getting much support is there's still a lot of dusty, dry air to the north. So big question mark on that. This is wave 1. This is live right now. And then, of course, here's our wave system we're going to watch for next week on that. So we're keeping an eye on that for sure. It's not an invest yet, so there's it could be an invest any moment, but it's not an invest right now. So when we don't have an invest, we don't have spaghetti models. So there's the golf spot's still in the early stages. But we can look at future dust and take a look. I'm not really sold on these 100%. because it seems like they change a lot. But we can still see this current plume right now. This is live. This is the one we're looking at now. And we can kind of see it's just not as strong as we've seen in the past. So here's the 23rd. This is middle of next week. So this is wave number 2, about right here. So this is wave 2, and wave 1 somewhere over here. So really, middle of next week. This is the 23rd. You can see that the dust is and dry air is really limited, and doesn't make it past going into the Caribbean area. So dust is definitely not as strong as it's been reaching Western Atlantic or Caribbean. So, see how that pans out. But it's, it's definitely not as strong as it was as far as the maps go. Another reason that tropics, and the biggest thing is that MJO. I'm telling you, the MJO cycle is coming. It's pretty strong phase, and it could last all the way through September. So, Telford, I think you're right. I think we should be getting an invest soon, for sure. Oh, let's take. I just heard thunder. What the heck's up with that? I want to see a water spout so bad. I don't even know where I'm at in the earth now. Oh, here we are. So here's our nor'easter. There's our low pressure winds. Pretty cool. Kind of rare. There it is. Look at that. That's happening right now. Heading up towards Maine. Talked a lot about this the last couple of days. I didn't talk about it today much, but it did come off the same frontal line basically that Invest 98 did. A little piece got broke off. Another front came along, and this curved up, and it was really neat to watch. But it basically coming back towards the New England area. So I had to wait and see. We'll have to see what the rainfall verified with that, because New Jersey North really wasn't showing to get a lot of rain, and we'll see if the HRR came out last night and actually. This is kind of what was showing last night. There's Jersey. Everything is kind of spinning in around like that. So that's the core of it right now. And it's windy, wavy. It's a summer nor'easter. Pretty neat. And that area, like I've been showing, has a lot of areas that needed to rain, drought areas. So, all right, let's put this on, slow down a little bit. Time to crack open. Not that. I still have a little coffee left. Thank you, Donna Gray, 310. Mark, always good time to visit ABC. Talking to my cousin Eric. Eric, are you online today? My cousin Eric's buying a Furman, but he's buying it from Costco, or I can't remember. I'm like, no, man, you got to order it online. But anyway, if anybody buys a Furman, you could, and you're a Mike's Weather Page fan, you can always contact them and they'll send you a swag bag. That was the point of this. So we've had a lot of people get Furmans all around, not just, online. But you can still get a cool swag bag. Swag bag. Oh my, let's take a look at the windy map real quick. I want to look at a couple things. So we're going to look at our system down there by the Yucatan. Not showing up any surface level winds yet. 850, not really showing much. So that convection that we're seeing is not associated with any type of low. We go to 500 millibar. You can kind of see where it's trying to set up here. And that's kind of where we'll watch. So it's a mid-level spin right now. This is the spot the NHC is watching. Not really organized, even though it looks pretty. Looks pretty. That's it right here. That's just a ball. It's just a blob. It's a blob. I sound like the anchor man. It's just a blob. Will Ferrell, just a blob. We have a nice little blob. So it's not organized yet. Going to Africa here, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at our wave coming off of the coast here and see what it looks like. It's definitely sandwiched in our ITCZ, but I don't know. I mean, you could say a little bit of circulation. Let's see where it's really at. Let's take a looky at weathernerds.org. We can zoom in on it, take a look, take a trip out to Africa, zoom in on it. This is that juicy wave. We'll see what it's got. It's going to be interesting to watch. Here it is. Just a big old blob right now, but there's your islands. So we'll take a look here. Close that one. That's the wrong one. This one. So, you know, it's kind of got a little bit of spin south of the islands, a little bit. You can say, you know, maybe, but nothing really organized yet. So it'll take time. We'll see if that dry air temporarily does anything to it. But like I said, the dry air seems like it loosens up a little bit as it makes that trek across. Here's the current water vapor satellite imagery, and you can see here, you know, some dry air to the north, but this little wave might juicing things up for it as it comes across. So in a nutshell, whatever a nutshell is, how about the Rays? Sorry, you Yankee fans. Rum is always a key item in the hurricane kit. Hey, yesterday was National Rum Day, by the way. Bet you didn't know that. We could quote our buddy Justin. Stephanie, you got to be the first one to ever mow the grass and listen. You're mowing the grass. Everybody, I don't want to say anything now. I'm afraid you're going to stop and hurt yourself mowing the grass. So the first person to ever watch our Daily Brew mowing the yard goes to Stephanie Stokes. I know, Kimberly. Oh, listen, we got a lot of people on TikTok. Holy crap, we got 41 people on TikTok. Listen, TikTok. Oh, my goodness. I need somebody that works there to give me the stream key. I heard it's so random. Once I get my stream key, I'll be able to share the exact thing that we're streaming everywhere else. So it's supposed to come so randomly. They said as long as you stick to your content, they might give it to you. So I reached out on Twitter. They sponsor NASCAR. Ryan Vargas actually was JD Motorsports, which is I was on Bailey Curry's car, which is JD Motorsports. TikTok sponsors JD Motorsports, so maybe, you know, I'm trying everything to get on TikTok to get my stream key soon. I have to have a key so I can plug it into my software so it can stream it out multiple streams at once. So currently we're multiply streaming Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at the same time. Soon to be 4. I do not speak Chinese, Kevin, but it sounds like it sometimes. Matthew's running an excavator. Oh, my God. All right, so now we got people mowing yards and doing excavators. That's not safe. Thank you, Candace Walls. Appreciate that. Mary Chapman, good morning. So what's up, Dale? Blob and spinach kind of day. Yeah, I hear thunder right now. All right, well, let's slow her down a little bit. Tailwinds, definitely, John, your way to next week. So the curious thing is this. So like I said, in a nutshell, we've got a wave now. It's going to be here middle of next week. Middle of next week, we're going to have another wave coming off. So middle of next week, this is where we're at. Middle. I forgot the L. Oh, well. There we go. Week. Oh my goodness. Middle next. This is some awesome cursive right there. That's Chinese. I took 3 years of Spanish and I can barely count to 10. But if you use it, you lose it. And I don't use it, so I lose it. It's like when we take 2 days off from our Daily Brew. The first day back, I'm clicking buttons. I got things wrong. I'm messing up. It's like you got to, like we're creatures. We're like dogs. We trained. So middle next week, and then the question mark middle next week will be if we get any sort of low here. Big question mark. If we get anything towards the Gulf. So the end of this weekend coming up, we're going to have this middle low pressure area here. This will be like Sunday, Monday. Sunday, Monday, we'll have a low here, but it's going to be a mid-level low. Sometimes they can reach the surface, so we'll have to, just kind of casually watch that still. And then this little guy is the most immediate one, and we'll see. It could be sneaky here. Get close to South Texas. Not a lot of development on the models. If we go back to Tropical Tidbits, though, it does have really good signature on the latest vorticity map here. You can see not too bad. You can really see it come into play here over the weekend. Right there. This would be Saturday. And that's below the Mexico-Texas line. But it does show decent signature for rotation. So it could have a chance to pop into possibly Texas. Even if it hits Mexico, they're still going to make South Texas later in the weekend, into Monday. And like I said, it could be moisture more than anything. Let's take a look at some moisture maps. I haven't looked at any of those yet today. Well, we could have just stayed there. Let me go look here at my NHC blend. And let's look at Texas. Let's see what kind of rain Texas is going to get. We've never talked about Texas so much. All right. So let's fast forward and see. Nothing. Models are giving no love to Texas with our system. I find that hard to believe. I do find that hard to believe. Let's go here and look at Euro and see what precipitation looks like for Euro. Nothing. Keeps it maybe the tip. GFS showing not much. So yeah, it's very questionable what the heck it's going to do. I'm surprised. So maybe Texas isn't going to get anything. I don't know. I still don't buy it. I still think it's going to have a chance to curve up a little bit more and get some rains into South Texas. So that'll be what we watch and see. Very little. A lot of frontal rains the next week. Let's show you that real quick. This is the southeast, because we have that frontal line that's stalled out. So let's take a look at some of that total precip. So there's your rainfall through Monday, and quite a bit of rain eastern Texas across upper Gulf. This is all because of this frontal line that's just going to hang out. So, we can get several inches here, cumulative all the way to South Carolina. This is through Monday morning. This is 2, 3, 4 inches of rain. Red is about 3 inches of rain. That's the Euro. The GFS, I'm sure, is similar. Everybody's showing the same thing pretty much. Here you go. Yep, GFS, pockets of rain, heavy rain, 3, 4, 5 inches in some spots. The National Weather Service map, I don't know if it goes out. Oh, it does go out to Saturday. This only goes out to Saturday morning. But even to Saturday morning, several inches of rain through Saturday across the south. That's a lingering frontal line. Here's another good map. This is due Monday morning. I like this one. Let's bring this one up. This has got the gist of it. This is due Monday morning. So all the rainfall, several inches of rain. This is all from that stalled front. So Carolinas to Texas, we'll have, and even in the northern part of Florida, we'll have a couple inches of rain the next couple of days. And I got thunder here. Someone's on a treadmill watching. So we got a treadmill. Lisa's on a treadmill. That's probably one place you'll never catch me. I did ride my bike today, though. Tiffany got a bachelor's in French. Oh, that's pretty cool. French. Donnie Gray fishing in the Keys, 829 to 91. It's too far away, man, to be certain. I wouldn't worry about it. That's just too far to worry about it. So, I know, Elvira. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know what's going on. I think the NHCs is going on, history here. That anytime we get a little set up in the bay, there's always a chance we can get a little spin up. So we'll mark this live, and if they get a lot of rain, we'll say that on 8/17 the models were wrong. If they don't get any rain, we'll mark 8/17 and say the models were right. John's on the bed watching. You the man. All right, cool. Well, that's it. People talk about the cruise. I guess we'll end it on that. We got a new cruise sign up yesterday. Appreciate that. Make sure you check it out if you love cruising. Royal Caribbean coming up in March, our second annual weather cruise. So really excited about that. We invite everybody along, families especially, because we're going to Coco Cay, the coolest place on the planet ever. All the stuff's on there. I shared our discount code yesterday with our friends at Windstorm Products. A couple of you guys thanked me for it. Let's see if I can pull it up here. I don't know if it's... This is my secondary page. I don't know if I have it. There it is right here. So Windstorm Products, they're offering all of our fans a 10% discount and free shipping. So definitely some cool products for having ready to go if you need to board up just to have. So check them out. Appreciate them giving our fans a discount and free shipping. So I shared that yesterday. And there you go. So that's it. We'll be back live tomorrow. Kind of curious what the afternoon models are going to show. Nothing imminent to worry about. Everything today was speculative. The only thing that we have official is this spot here that's going to be going into the bay. We're completely guessing about this low, and we're guessing about the next low to come. Totally, and then totally question mark the following weekend on the Gulf. Just, as you know, when you follow, we go into everything, and I only bring up things that are getting a lot of model support and patterns that make sense. And we're seeing this Gulf one's a little tricky to me because we're seeing moisture surge coming up to watch. So we'll see. We'll see what the afternoon runs do. But I got to go pick Julie up. She's at the car place, and she's waiting on me. So I had to give her a ride home. Thank you, Gene Kaufman. Thank you. Hey, Justin, we just talked about you, buddy. My cousin Eric's buying his Furman today from Costco. He's getting the tri-fuel like me. I told him all he's got to do is reach out to y'all and you'll send him a MWP swag bag. He was all excited talking about it. I'm like, yeah, I got one too, man. He's loving the remote start. We were sharing generator stories around the highlight last night. Thank you, Heather. Appreciate that. Moisture blob. Yeah, we got a lot of things. If you read Twitter as much as I do, everybody's kind of anxiously saying the same thing, like things are fixing to get a little bit more active out there. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm curious about that middle Atlantic low coming across that's going to be here this weekend. If that allows high pressure to build up behind it, letting that African wave, push a little bit more west, and then of course the wave after that. So, catch you later, Eddie. Appreciate it. All right, man. Well, nothing intimate to worry about. Bottom line, just in the short term, if you're in Mexico, South Texas, pay attention to that little spot. It's not an invest yet. I suspect it'll be an invest soon, and we'll start getting spaghetti models on it. So there you go. All right, we'll be back live tomorrow. Daily Brew, 9:19 Eastern time zone, and I'll do one of my little 1-minute quickies probably this afternoon. I usually do the 1-minute quickies after the 12Z models come out, and unfortunately I have to wait on the Euro, which is about 3 o'clock. So I like to see the 12Z models. So watch for that. I post them everywhere. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.